So it's the question, right? The question, the name of the video. Have we seen the worst? Have we seen the bottom of the crypto market where we've got Bitcoin where it bounced down and hit 83,000, I believe is the number. Just using Bitcoin as an example, we're at 86,000 and change right now. And on our 24-hour time frame, we have been down to 85, but we have hit that, bounced down to that 83,000, rebounded off of it a little bit, again, trading at 86,000. But ultimately, the bigger question, the question that we're all asking ourselves is, are we near the bottom? And I'm not really in this video, guys, trying to talk about timing the market. That's not what this video is actually about. I'm not going to give you, indicators of how you can absolutely perfectly time the bottom. Are we going to see some more downside risk? Actually, I think there is some more downside risk. There are some very smart people that I pay attention to that say, we could see potential really downside risk to down about 74, 75,000 if we get any type of, kind of negative bearish sentiment more than we have creeping into the market. But ultimately, the consensus, the feeling across multiple analysts, people that I talk to, my own research would say that we are very near the bottom as far as kind of the worst it's going to get. Okay. Which I think is good news. So I went and I said, hey, ChatGPT, I asked it, has the crypto market bottomed out and are we going to start to go up from here? Now I love how ChatGPT and the Google AI engine, I love how it works because it goes out and what it really does is it goes out and just really hits a lot of different news sources, consolidates information and brings it back and answers my question, right? And so arguments for a potential bottom, yes or no. Market sentiment possibly reversing. I do feel that market sentiment is reversing. And if you're really paying attention and you're looking at kind of, like on X and you're looking on YouTube and you're kind of looking at sentiment out as it's measured, even though, I haven't looked at the fear and greed index today. The fear and greed index is, we're rising a little bit. We're at 15. We're still in extreme fear. We were yesterday in a 12. Okay. So do I think, again, have we reached the bottom? I feel like sentiment is reversing, market, but I will tell you, sentiment doesn't reverse instantly like that. It really doesn't. Okay. I think part of the reason sentiment is reversing is we have had a flip here on what we're going to get the Federal Reserve. Looks like we got about an 82% chance that in 15 days, we're going to get a possible interest rate reduction from the Federal Reserve. I think that's helping the crypto market. I think it's helping the stock market, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, yeah, sentiment's changing. We do have on-chain data that's showing that Bitcoin whales are accumulating. And some data indicates that large Bitcoin holders known as whales have begun accumulating, which historically can precede a price increase. Okay. We know that we've got pro-crypto legislation coming, the Clarity Act. We are just waiting for that to be approved. The government shutdown obviously slowed that down. I think that that's going to be a dramatic factor. It is going to happen. I'm not really seeing any issues or any kind of holdups with that being approved and getting through Congress. But if you want to kind of look at the other side of the coin, arguments for further downside risk. We do have macroeconomic uncertainty, the Federal Reserve stance. I just showed that to you, although that seems to be reversing. There has been weakened demand. Again, I think weakened demand is a direct corollary and result of market sentiment, which does seem to be kind of slowly turning a little bit. There is lingering fear. We've talked about that. And this is one that's really been a debate going on for a while. The traditional 4-year cycle, are we still in it? Is that even still a thing? I've done videos on this. That's one of those, is the cycle invalidated or not? I don't really think that it is. Okay. So just that's there. So where does that leave us? It leaves us in a place where we're all still kind of looking at each other kind of in the room and going, okay, have we reached the bottom? I feel like we are close. And we should start to see bounce back up here. Remember, we've got quantitative tightening effectively done the first week or so of December. That should be a really good positive data point as far as, QT has definitely been a hindrance to the markets moving up. But the fact that the Fed is ending QT, quantitative tightening, they've come out and publicly announced this. That's a good sign as well, because the the ending of QT has a direct relationship and corollary to liquidity coming back into the market, freeing up liquidity, things of that nature. And so, yeah, I think that we've got some positive there. Have we seen the worst? I think we have, but okay, we do have, I think, a little bit of potential volatility. We could see us drop a little bit lower. So yes, I'm talking on both sides of the street because that's the reality that we're living in. We still have the volatility at play. Okay. And quite frankly, nobody really quite knows yet. You've got all these data points like QT ending, Federal Reserve going to do their thing, macroeconomic uncertainty, people's fear lingering. You got a lot of contradictory things, but it does feel, and that's not just me, I'm talking to a lot of people on your behalf, going out and getting information for you, bringing it back to this video. It does feel across the board, the consensus, it feels as though we have seen the worst. Okay. And that's good news.